Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Misfit Gardening. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Emma and I'm the owner and author of misfitgardening.com, which is an urban homesteading blog based in Utah. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about why I'm moving to a tumbling composter and giving you the lowdown of the composters and things that I'm actually trialling. So stay tuned and find out a bit more. So I'm moving to Tumbling Composters and there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, I want to try doing different styles of tumbling composters. I want to see what works for a lot of people because I'm trying to encourage other people that live in like a suburban or an urban setting that they can compost too. It's not as nasty as what everybody thinks, and that you can actually make great quality compost that's going to be good for your soil. The second reason, I'll just spin around and show you. So this is my composting pile at the moment, and it's covered with a tarp. It's covered with my wheelbarrow and it's being held down by an old concrete post that was from the old fence that we had. And the reason why I've been doing that is to try and keep my dogs out of it. And since we actually had a composter built in the back corner here, and we had to take it down when we got the fence installed, and sort of since then the dogs have forever been in and out of it, and really it's just kind of a bit gross, when my puppies are trying to eat carrot scraps or bananas or whatever the hell that's in there, and then want to give you kisses. It's just kind of grossed me out a little bit, but we've actually moved to purchasing these. So this one over here is a Dura composter. It was almost $300, whereas this one right here is the Yimby tumbling composter, and this was actually less than $90, and I bought that through Amazon on Prime. So there's a couple of differences between these. Now they're very similar in terms of the internal capacity, but I wanted to see really, is it worth buying a much more expensive model, or is getting a smaller model or a cheaper model, sorry, actually worth it, or are you wasting money? So one thing I would like to point out is I was actually really surprised by the Yimby one. I was surprised at how sturdy the legs and things are on it, and the more expensive composter, I expected to have a sturdy structure. It's got braces and supports and things in there, so that's pretty good. So that was excellent. That's exactly what I was looking for. Now I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer so you guys can actually see. So I'm going to take a look inside the Dura composter, or take a look over the Dura composter first. Put my teeth back in. Okay, so this is actually a metal cover, and inside of here it's very well insulated. You've got airflow at the top and at the bottom on both sides, which is good. It's split up into two compartments, and you have these handles already screwed on when you purchase it. They are only every other side, so you've got to make sure that you're able to really push it through. It is a dual compartment. It's got really secure locks on it, so it's unlikely that you're going to get any critters really pulling those apart. And this is currently in use, so it's got whatever the hell I've put in here already, but you can see you've got sort of 2 inches or so of this foam stuff to act as an insulator, and hopefully you guys can see. Make sure I've got this balanced. Let's take the camera off the stand. That would help enormously. So here we go. We've got, you know, this is starting to be in use. You know, it does have a plastic bar in the middle, and that's going to stop the metal or anything rusting. And the downsides of plastic, well, these kind of tumbling composters, is you are going to get material that gets caught up around this axle. So if you can kind of chop things up, tear things up, that's going to stop that happening. I mean, you can see I've got sort of tea bags and things all sort of decorating on here, so that is something that you know, I'm going to need to make sure that I keep an eye on. It's got a central compartment which is foam again, or a central divide rather than a central compartment. The nice thing about this is that it is much taller, which means I can actually get my wheelbarrow underneath, and the same composting size, you know, is the same for both. I think this is about 30 gallons or so. You know, the idea behind it is you start filling on one side and then the other side starts to mature. The Yimby composter is similar. It's another, you know, it's got 2 compartments. It's easy to spin. It actually has these sort of handhold things all the way around, and on the side it also has handholds so I can move it. This also has an airflow through, and it's adjustable so I can put in as much air as I want. Let's line this back up again. Now then, on the front you actually have a plus and a clock sign. So the clock sign is, you know, you're waiting for it to mature. This is the side that's actively being used, and I'll show you just the inside of this one as well. All these handholds actually act as mini baffles during the turning, so that's going to create air pockets. It's going to help break things up. It's going to give you really good mixing. It does have some holes at the bottom, so you're going to have drainage if it's too wet in there. So you could put a tray underneath to be able to capture that compost tea and be able to use that. The downside with these tumbling composters really is just the sheer volume. The majority of my waste comes from grass clippings and the chicken coop, and these are not big enough to be able to do that. So over the course of the next you know, the next few months and things, I'm going to be getting more of these tumbling composters to trial. I want to see and really find out, you know, what is the best tumbling composter for my money, and what really suits my needs, what might suit somebody else, you know, who's got a smaller homestead, those kind of things. And you know, really the number one thing for me with these sorts of composters is I'm not going to have, you know, my dogs in these. I'm not going to have to worry that I'm getting, you know, other critters and stuff in these. I don't want to be attracting, you know, rodents or anything here. You know, I've got a chicken coop, that's kind of bad enough. I don't want to give them like another option to be setting up home here either. So that's some of the reasons why I'm moving to a tumbling composter. Another benefit of these is that I can move them wherever I want in the garden. I don't have to have them all the way over here. I can move them closer to the kitchen. I can move them closer to the garden. I can move them in the garden if I really want, and that's not going to be, you know, a problem. They are small enough for me to be able to do that. Also, it's probably going to be well, it is going to be easier for me or for my family just to come out and tumble these, you know, to get them mixing and stuff, because, you know, having to turn the compost pile that we had, you know, it was like it was a family effort. There was all of us there. We were all kind of getting stuck in, you know, being able to turn it. it's great exercise, you know, I need the exercise, you know, I don't doubt that, but it was very time consuming. And when you know, have a job where you're, you know, working a lot, like me and my family do, you know, all of us, you know, work long hours. Some of us work 6 days a week, some work 5, some, you know, work 12 hours, you know, there's a lot sort of going on, so we don't always have a lot of time to be, you know, coming outside and sorting things like the compost when there's other things that need to be done. Like, I mean, if I just show you down here, you know, we've got raised beds and things here that we've built, they need staining, you know, that's more of a priority than, you know, getting in and turning the compost heap. So for us, it's a time, you know, it's keeping the critters out, and, you know, hopefully these are going to be able to generate compost a lot quicker for us as well. So I'd like to see how long that actually takes. I'm going to try and keep like the mix between both of these the same in terms of what I'm putting in. So far they've got, you know, shredded paper in here and a handful of my mature compost that's already been done. The Dura composter has the, you know, bucket of kitchen scraps in it that we've been collecting over the last couple of weeks, so that's already in there to start going. And once my 5-gallon bucket from the kitchen is full again, that's going to be going in the Yimby. I'm also going to be including the bokashi composting that I do as well, because I'm a big fan of doing bokashi composting anyway. I want to be as, you know, frugal as possible, and I want to be able to be using as much that's coming out of my home as possible. And by being able to do bokashi composting, I'm going to be able to add a lot more nutrients into my compost heap than would if I wasn't making use of all the extra stuff that I can now compost because of using bokashi. I'm going to try and figure out how to put the link up for you know, my bokashi post. It is a bit long. I'm going to try and redo another one in the next few weeks for you, just to see how, you know, what goes in my bokashi bin, how I do it, what I do with the stuff that comes out of it afterwards, so you guys get a better view. And also I'll give you an update as well on how this is going to work with a composting method that's just going to be tumbling it, so we'll see how well that works. So if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. It gives me an opportunity to see what you guys like and help me produce better videos. You know, if you want to find out, you know, how these tumbling composters are going to be performing, you know, please subscribe. I'm going to be posting videos in the next few weeks to give everybody an update on how these are working, and also update you on some of the new composters and things that are coming in.